Your party, now officially your party, had their conference in Liverpool on the weekend. Owen Jones went there to cover it. He did really good coverage, and I agree with pretty much what Owen Jones says. And I have a lot of respect for Zara Sultana, Jeremy Corbyn, the project of your party. No problem with individuals, no problem with the desire for a truly socialist party. I don't like leftist infighting. I don't like sectarianism. I share pretty much most of the desires of the people in this party. But I do have my problems. And my problem is pragmatism, broad outreach, and the infighting. And this is why I'm putting my support behind the Green Party. I think they're more pragmatic. I think they're appealing to people and actually have a desire to win. So let's get straight into it because it is interesting coverage and yeah, it's a thing.
Your party is the left-wing party, which was launched by Jeremy Corbyn, former leader of the Labour Party, Zara Sultana, very much associated with it. It has had a rocky few months, guys. Let's go out and say it. Lots of infighting, lots of disputes going on. It's been messy, but huge numbers of people signed up to it. There was a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, and there still is amongst various people. So I've come to Liverpool to find out, is this a runner? Can it be salvaged? Especially given there are actually really good, decent people who want to change the country, who actually feel this could work. Can it work? Will it work?
There's clearly an appetite for left-wing politics in the UK.
There's a massive deficit in trust in any political party.
Your party has an opportunity to bring people together that no one else really does.
This is the last throw of the dice, we know that. We've heard for years it's socialism or barbarism, and it is socialism or barbarism now. We're in a difficult situation.
There has been some really just bad behaviour.
Behaviors that aren't mature, that aren't reflective of the moment that we're in. Like, we're supposed to be like responding to the rise of fascism in this country, right? That's what the narrative is, or what we're saying to each other. But nonetheless, it's like we're like heckling each other.
It's been a mess. It's very disorganised, but we want it to work, and we're really trying to make it work.
If we balls this up, then my grandkid's going to hate me.
We're here today to do something dramatic, to found a new democratic socialist party in Britain that can challenge power in our society. That's what's brought us together.
I think it was a recent New Statesman interview where Corbyn, or recent interview where he said, this is the first socialist party. The Green Party are a socialist party. Sakaplansky identifies as a socialist, as do many of his supporters, which he's doubled the membership. And I think, for me, a lot of the things that kind of make me think, okay, this is the purity testing, like, oh, they're not real socialists. The Green Party are just middle-class liberals. One of the people in this video say that. And I think that kind of language, it just pushes people away. You're saying like, oh, just because, I don't use the same language as you about, revolutionary fervor or, the Marxist language of praxis and, revolutionary insurgency. And a lot of people don't know this stuff. And that's why I don't really engage with this language. I'm more interested in cost of living, pragmatic, practical policy, which, spoiler alert for this video, no interest in policy. There's no real talk about policy that will improve people's lives. They're more interested in the democratic element, which is important, but I think it can override actually appealing to people, getting people on your side and winning council seats, MPs, and actually gaining power. Because the left seem to be kind of opposed to that idea historically, which isn't good, let's just say.
Your barometer for success for this weekend. This is kind of this was a good, successful 2 days, what would you?
We leave here with unity, we leave here with agreement, we leave here with determination. Equality, sustainability, peace.
Which is broadly the leftist message. So why this obsession with the democracy? And like everyone has to have a voice. Because I think people, in the Green Party, one member, one vote. People vote on policies, fine. But this kind of fixation on, it has to be the most democratic party. But you have leaders, you have a core set of ideas, leftist ideas, working class solidarity with Palestine, a rejection of neocolonialism, rejection of capitalist oligarchy. People, there's more consensus here. Have a few policies, have a main framework, they say peace, environment, sustainability, and run on that and work with the Green Party. I think they have said they would work with the Green Party, but this whole thing has kind of been a bit of a joke in a way, and that hurts me to say that. I do not say that with any glee. I think your party are harming the left right now and actually undermining Zach Polanski in some way, which I don't like to say that, but I do think it's true.
Bringing you some breaking news now. Sky News has been told that Zara Sultana is boycotting the opening day of your party's conference in Liverpool after the expulsion of some members.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. Zara Sultana is boycotting the first day of the Your Party conference in protest at, for example, the action taken against members of the Socialist Workers' Party. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be honest. This is a bit crazy. It's the main news now coming out of the conference. It's being splashed all over.
And the right have been using this to try and discredit the left, which it does. It does. It makes us look bad. It makes us look like we can't get our shit together. And it does harm the fight against fascism. I'm sorry, it does. I may lose some subscribers. People might be upset with me, but this is not good for the leftist cause.
Newspapers and all the rest of it. That's the main thing that people are get from this conference. Not great for a party which is trying to obviously launch itself to the country after all this turmoil in the last few months. We're going to go talk to Zara. I've got some questions, I'm not going to lie. Look, can I just show you? This is The Guardian. And so the main headline now is Your Party conference thrown into chaos as Zara Sultana boycotts first day. I guess, because the last few weeks has been, Your Party's been associated with quite a lot of turmoil. And I guess a lot of people might have thought this conference was an opportunity to kind of speak to the country and get...
100%. That's what I thought until people were being expelled and there was a witch hunt that took place. And I think pretending that that hasn't happened is just not being honest, especially when from the outset I've constantly spoken about member democracy. And this is, like I said, a culture that reminds me of the Labour Party, and so many people left the Labour Party, myself included, to not create another Labour Party.
If people wanted a central dictatorship, they would join the Labour Party. People don't want that, and I think the leadership here need to understand that we want a member-led democratic party, and the commitment to that overrides a commitment to Jeremy Corbyn or other political figures. It's about democratic socialism. It's not about figureheads or celebrities or anything like that. We want a member-led democracy.
No, it's about winning. It's about having ideas, which we have on the left. We want affordability. We want raised wages. We want union membership to be stronger. We want union rights to be stronger. We know what we want. We share this. We do need leaders. I'm sorry, we do. We need leaders who can have charisma. Zoran Mamdani, Zach Polanski. I think Zara Sultana is actually really charismatic and feisty. I think she's great. I think she could. Why not? Why can't Zara be the leader? Jeremy's had his time. Zara is feisty. I think she's really effective, rhetorician. Just make her leader. You know what you stand for. And then just get on with it. Get your ideas out there. Have the debates. Great. But, yes, This is quite frustrating for me, to be honest.
Tomorrow the vote is going to be on setting up a leadership grouping, which is a good thing because that means you'll bring together a group of people to be a committee who will therefore be tasked with setting that up. They'll then decide on what sort of leadership structure they want, whether appointed by that group, which I think would be probably seen as a bit undemocratic, or somebody elected by the whole membership, or a group of people elected by the membership. Let's see what comes out of tomorrow, but whatever comes out, I'll go along with it.
We're arguing for maximum democracy within a party. Traditional parties, hitherto in all existing society, have reflected in their structures, practices and modes of behaviour the society that they come from. And what we're saying is that our party has to be structured in a way that it reflects the type of society we're trying to build, because we genuinely believe that without a democratic party, you'll never be able to build a democratic society.
Okay, great. I agree with that. And I'm aware of this guy. He's, been quite an influential figure on the left. No problem with him personally. But we have to have a clear vision of what we want Britain to be. And it has to be pragmatic. Socialism isn't happening. Our fight now is against fascism. And if anything, we're fighting for liberalism, which is hard to hear for a lot of leftists because that's the worst thing you can be accused of as a leftist. But we're fighting illiberalism. We're fighting anti-intellectualism. We're fighting people who live in a different reality right now. Socialism ain't happening. Sorry, it ain't. I wish it was. I'm a socialist myself. But we have to be realistic here. And Zach Polanski, I think, is being realistic. Tax wealth, not work. Focus on cost of living. Focus on sustainability. Focusing on lowering people's bills. That's what we need to do. That's how Zoran won. He's a democratic socialist. He hopefully will achieve his goals of free childcare, free buses, rent stabilized apartments will be, rent stabilized. And this is what we should aim for. No problem with democratic structures, but what are the policies and how do we appeal to people? That's what should be the focus. Because this infighting turns people off. It makes the left look insane, which we kind of are a little bit.
Think it's going to work?
It might. It's not. I'm not sure, to be honest. But I really do want it to work. I've put a lot of work into trying to put. We've put a lot of work into trying to build constructive proposals to, help build the best party possible. And that's what we've been doing in the Democratic Socialists. We put together a big constitution. We've done major interventions. We put forward the idea of a collective leadership, which is now going to be voted on at conference. So we've been doing a lot to try and get this party to a position where we can go forward.
How many would be in a collective leadership?
I think the current proposal is that there would be 20 CEC members.
20 people, though. So there'd be no single leader. There would be 20
That's
leaders.
insane.
The point is there would be spokespeople.
That's insane. Because if you ask 20 different socialists how to define socialism, you're going to get 20 different answers. Oh my God. This ain't working. I'm sorry, this ain't going to work. This isn't going to have popular appeal. People don't want to spend their days debating. I love a good old debate, don't get me wrong, but this is doomed to failure, I think. I want to be wrong, though.
Who would effectively act as the party's front-facing, but the political decisions would be made as a collective. We want this to be a party that is responsive to the membership, led from the ground up, and able to campaign everywhere and make real change and secure wins.
That just sounds like a lot of meetings. And the left's associated with a lot of meetings. And rather than being empowering, a lot of people find that grinds them down, drives them out. Only the people who are most committed, and that's a certain type of person, end up dominating.
Insane people. I'm sorry. Yes, those kind of people who obsess with leftist theory, and this will upset some people on the left, they just tie their identity to it. And it's an ego thing. I'm sorry, it is. It's insecurity. It's young people finding their place in the world. I was like this 15 years ago. But now I know that we need, again, pragmatism, pragmatism, pragmatism. Because we ain't winning this way.
Democracy is more than voting. You know, we're not talking about having to have meetings on absolutely everything. It's also about building a democratic culture, a participatory culture, a collective culture.
But that has to come from the people. How are you going to do that? Integrate that in society? That's very difficult. You have to do that through people who are energizing people. You can't just first like, oh, you need... No, most people don't give a shit. They want a charismatic leader who will talk to their issues, cost of living, wages, housing, NHS, and you need to get people excited. We have that at the moment. The Green Party.
Rather than the kind of present system where members are sort of kettled off into sort of atomised lumps away from one another. And we're saying that, you know, politics has to be done differently. Socialist politics has to reflect in its structures, practices and modes of behaviour the society that it's trying to build, because otherwise we'll never get there.
I don't disagree with that, but that takes a lot of work and a long time. You're starting a new party now, which may even take a couple of years to find its foot. Like, already it's struggling to kind of walk. We don't have that time. We don't. Nigel Farage may be the next Prime Minister at this point. It seems more likely by the day. Although they've definitely plateaued now. Actually, some polls have seen them go down. This whole racism debacle could damage Farage. That's how kind of fragile his support is. We've seen it with Donald Trump now. MAGA is dead. So a lot is going to happen, but we need to be ready. We need to be ready.
Zara Sultana helped found this party, but after some members were expelled on the eve of this conference, she's once again hit out at colleagues.
We are here to be the home of the left, a home for all socialists. This is not how you treat members. This is what the Labour Party did, where people were expelled, members were treated just like volunteers, not allowed to actually make decisions and just thrown on the scrap heap. We're here to treat people with respect.
So there's been a bit of a kerfuffle at the opening conference because various people were told that they were banned, they couldn't come in. Witch hunt! That's what some people have cried. Socialist Workers' Party are the main focus there. I think the argument from those supporting the move are, well, you agree when you sign up that you're not a member of the political party. A lot of people from the SWP a bit much for various reasons. But
I mean, I agree with that. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I think if you're already in a party, yeah, sorry, you can't come. It's that simple.
I want to find out, there's a division about what the culture should be, I guess. So I chatted to the National Secretary of the SWP, who was banned, and this caused a big uproar. Is it reasonable or is it unreasonable? You have been banned from conference. What happened?
Well, look, I think it's a real shame because we're in a situation where Farage is going to be the next Prime Minister. Starmer's an awful government. We need a party like this to succeed. And it's a shame that yesterday I got an email when I'd arrived in Liverpool saying that myself and other members of the SWP weren't welcome.
In the SWP, you can't set up
Why are you there then? Why make it about yourself? It's not about you, mate. See, this is the problem. It's all about ego. Why? If you're not there, just fuck it. Make the Socialist Workers' Party relevant. That ain't happening, but work on your own party. Maybe start your own other party. I mean, why not, eh? Why not?
An internal faction. You can do that before conference, and if you set up a permanent faction in the SWP, you're going to get expelled.
Well, I'm glad you know the ins and outs of democratic socialism, Owen. The SWP is a revolutionary socialist organisation. We organise in a certain way. We think it makes us quite effective. The Anti-Nazi League, the Stop the War movement, what we're doing with anti-fascism.
You're not effective. No one knows who you are. No one cares who you are. You're not effective. I'm sorry. Again, they may lose a few subscribers on this one. They're not effective.
Today, so we think that works. Your party should be a mass party. 800,000 people signed up to it. We think that's great. Britain needs a new left. We want to support it. We want to be part of it. We don't want to control it.
I guess this is what I'm interested in. So we've had 100 years of Western Trotskyism. 100 years. And in the last few years, we've had the most intense turmoil, tumult, chaos since World War II. And I know the SWP and other groups are good at organising in terms of the anti-Nazi League, you know, in they're kind of being kind of organisational muscle for things. But you've not grown in any meaningful way. None of these groups have. And I guess a lot of people would ask, at what point do you kind of reassess the model? Because you've lived through all this turmoil, and the SWP, despite everything, isn't meaningfully any bigger than it ever was. It's actually smaller than it was in less chaotic times.
Yeah, it's completely irrelevant. There is no left. I mean, I'd argue the Green Party are left right now. You know, the SNP, Plaid Cymru. But this is a small amount of people who are actively engaged and have good intentions. And I share a lot of my beliefs with them. But it isn't working.
Well, look, this is exactly the kind of questions I think we need to ask and the debate we need to have.
Oh, my God.
My view is this, right?
No, we don't need to debate. We need to come together. We need to rally and actually offer a viable alternative that meet people where they are. We're going to end here because this is why I haven't been online, and this is why it took me a while to start this channel, because the left is so frustrating. I love the left. I'm a leftist. I've been a leftist since I was 16 years old, and the Iraq War was happening in 2003, and I was like, this illegal war. Why are we doing an illegal war? And that made me question, what the hell's going on? Capitalism. I started reading, you know, Mark Fisher's book 2009, Slavoj Žižek, David Harvey, all these great academics. And for a while, I was like, great, I'm a leftist. And then, you know, the Corbyn stuff happened, 2017, 2019. And then after that, I was like, okay, great. Like, what are we doing? And for the first time in a while, with Zoran Mandani and the Green Party, I feel excited that people, the left, have learnt the lessons that we need to be pragmatic. We need to win people over. It's not just about people who agree with us. We need to win people over and convince people through our arguments that are popular. 75% of the population want a wealth tax. And we have to be normal. We have to be reasonable. We have to listen to people. And we have to have values. None of the infighting, none of the sectarianism. And we can win. We can win this. We can. We are right. We are the good guys. So it's frustrating. No personal attacks, no shade on these people. They're my brothers and sisters, but we need to do better. So if you haven't already, join the Green Party. Join the membership from 99 pence a month. Tell me your thoughts below. If you have to unsubscribe from me, that's okay. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.